I think that it's becoming desperately important for the Russians to stabilize their currency because they're not getting the recognition for their underlying strengths, if you like, in foreign currency markets. So you cannot have a world of fiat currencies coexisting with currencies which are convertible into real money, which throughout history, from Diocletian's time, its purchasing power has been constant. You cannot have a fiat currency world coexisting with that. The fiat currencies fall apart, and it affects everybody.
According to the latest Big Mac index, the Russian ruble was undervalued by as much as 70% against the US dollar in 2022. Russia is aiming to woo the oil-rich Middle East and the OIC, with the ultimate aim of replacing the Petro Dollar with a Petro Ruble. Alasdair Macleod, a prominent figure in the world of global finance, currently serves as the head of research at Gold Money Incorporation. Alasdair Macleod contends that the coexistence of fiat currencies with stable real money-backed currencies is unsustainable as Russia is trying to stabilize its currency with gold. The ruble strengthened on Friday but gave up some intraday gains after the Bank of Russia raised interest rates to 13%, a move anticipated by the market as the country battles inflationary pressures exacerbated by its weak currency. Alasdair Macleod suggests that Russian funds hold 7,000 to 9,000 tons of precious metals. Gold reserves in Russia increased to 2,330 tons in the second quarter of 2023. The maximum volume of reserves was 2,300 tons and minimum was 343 tons. Macleod sees Russia readily adopting SWIFT or a gold-based banking system with safeguards for stability. Russia, being the largest country in the world and a long-standing global power, has many aces up its sleeve. It initially suffered a major setback when the U.S. froze $630 billion in Russian gold and reserves and blocked Russia from the SWIFT payment system, imposing financial sanctions. Russia was ahead of the curve and had its own domestic SWIFT system. Now, we are presenting you a glimpse of Alasdair Macleod's insights from his recent interview with Liberty and Finance. Before we continue to delve into this discussion, please subscribe to our channel and activate the bell icon for timely updates.
The ruble is so low. I mean, basically, a ruble is 1 cent. I mean, it's that. It is so. You can't have a gold coin, the equivalent of 1 cent. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Which is why I say about 50,000. So, if you have, the basic unit, of a gold coin represents 50,000 rubles. That will be in line with current prices, gold prices in the market. So there's no reason why that can't happen, none whatsoever. And the point which I don't think people have really fully grasped is that it's very easy for the Bank of Russia, if it separates it out into an issue department, to attract the bullion into it. Apart from anything else, we know that they've got 2,300 tons, which is a start. We believe, and it would be helpful if this was clarified, there are two funds in Russia. One is the precious metals fund, the state precious metals fund, and the other is the state wealth fund. And between them, it is believed that they own a further 7,000 to 9,000 tons. We don't know, but that's the story. If that was confirmed, that would help the credibility of the thing initially. But it's not necessary for that to be, if you like, deposited in the new issue department in return for rubles. I mean, it would be sensible to happen. But the key point is this arbitrage between getting paid 12% and costing 2%. Bullion will flow like a reverse waterfall, if you like, into the new issue department, because the banks will arbitrage it. And we're talking not just the Russian banks. The Russian banks would certainly start it. You would have, people who've sold out from the ruble, Russian nationals who have, draft dodgers and all the rest of it with capital, and they would be moving very, very rapidly back into it. And on top of that, you've got the whole of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which can link through the various messaging systems, the equivalent of SWIFT, which exist between Russia, China, and so on and so forth. I mean, these banks would go for it. And there's no reason why Russia doesn't open it up to SWIFT, but SWIFT is suspended. Russians can't access it. I mean, there's no reason why your bank shouldn't be able to send gold over there and get effectively 12% paid in gold on top of your gold. So this is easy. I mean, it really is extremely easy. There are various things that have to be put in place to ensure that the checks and balances of the system will endure. I mean, apart from anything else, one of the problems that we've always had with the gold standard in the past is that you have the cycle of bank credit. Now, things are expanding, it's all lovely, and, we're all very happy. But every now and then you get a crisis, and it's sort of in the West, it's been roughly every 10 years. So how do you deal with the crisis? Well, the answer is to make that the responsibility of the banking department, but not the responsibility of the issue department.
Alasdair believes that a gold-backed currency can bring stability, potentially challenging fiat currencies like the dollar. The growing trend is toward trading in local currencies, bypassing the dollar. The BRICS is expected to accelerate these shifts. Make no mistake, sooner or later, BRICS may work on an alternative currency to replace the dollar. Regarding the gold standard, Macleod believes that its adoption by Russia could significantly disrupt the current financial system and result in new BRICS currency. Russian President Vladimir Putin first announced that BRICS proposal to create an international reserve currency at the BRICS summit in 2022 to rival the US dollar as the global reserve standard. This proposal was later confirmed to come in the form of a gold-backed currency. Let's get back to the interview.
A currency depends. Where it's fiat, if it's not backed by gold, if it's not readily convertible into gold, its value depends on what the markets make of it, the faith and credit that the markets have in that currency. It's got no sheet anchor. It's not tied to anything. Now, as soon as you get gold in there, as soon as you have a credibly backed, a gold-backed currency, then, you can have that. In fact, for years and years and years and years, nobody in Switzerland bothered having any gold coin or anything like that. They weren't holding any coin because they had the faith that the central bank would hold sufficient reserves that they wouldn't have to do it themselves. Now, things have changed a bit, I have to say, in recent decades there. But you can see the point that as long as it is gold-backed, then as long as you can exchange it into gold, no fiat currency can stand up against that. It then means that, if the ruble did it, the dollar would be, it would be toast. It really would. And apart from anything else, it could set off a tsunami of reserve movement out of fiat currencies into gold. Now, I'm not recommending this as, because I'm a bull of gold and all the rest of it. I'm just trying to look at it purely from an economic point of view and analyzing it from that point of view. But undoubtedly, it will have an effect on the value of gold. But in terms of the exchange rate with the fiat currencies, most of the effect will be on the decline in the purchasing power of the fiat currencies. Remember, the purchasing power of gold holds steady over time. I think that gold standards are rather like oil and water. Apart from anything else, I think that the Russians did that. It would actually force the new BRICS currency to come into an existence because, again, that would, it would be structured differently because it's doing a different purpose. But, where does that leave other fiat currencies? It's actually going to be quite destructive of other fiat currencies, which raises the question, what are the Saudis going to do? I think the Saudis would follow the Russians very, very quickly because they would want to not only secure their own currency, but they would want other nations to pay in gold, if you like, to match their situation. I think the Chinese would be pushed into it, maybe unwillingly. Whether it's unwillingly, I don't know. It could be that the Chinese might heave a huge sigh of relief and say, well, thank God someone's taken the lead, we won't get blamed.
According to World Gold Council data, in July central banks added 44 tons. We await to see how central banks have responded to lower dollar prices over the last month. The notion of Russia adopting a gold standard and potentially introducing a new BRICS currency backed by gold is gaining momentum. The broader de-dollarization movement is struggling to gain momentum. SWIFT payments involving the US dollar rose to a record 46% in July, Bloomberg reported. Is the global financial system on the brink of a major change where gold becomes important again as a trusted way to save money? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you find this video informative, don't forget to show your support towards our channel by giving this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications to stay informed about our latest videos covering more exciting topics. Thank you for watching.